Good evening. I'm Gabriel Porras in Stockton. We are continuing to follow our local elections results. It is now 12 a.m. midnight on what is now Wednesday, November 4th. We are still awaiting our results from the San Joaquin County Registrar of Voters' office. We are anticipating those to come in at any moment now. We're initially expecting those to come in at 12 a.m. exactly. Still waiting on that. We'll see when the Registrar of Voters' office puts out their update. Although I want to bring us back to some of the sound that we heard from people earlier today when we were at different polling locations. When we were speaking with these different voters at these different polling locations in Stockton, what many of them were interested in were the races happening outside of the city and outside of the state. In fact, many of them said that they voted because of the presidential election and because of the other issues that have been happening nationally, especially over the summer. I want to play that sound for you today to hear about how some of the people in our county voted in the presidential race and how they feel about national politics.
I am I'm very against Trump. I believe he has damaged the country in a really bad way, and especially with COVID. I've had COVID. I work at a retirement community, and I just don't want to. That needs to end because it's just bad.
I am 21 years old now.
And you mentioned the Black Lives Matter movement. What else brought you to vote this?
So there's been a lot of injustice going on, and I want to go to school to be a lawyer. So with that being said, it hurts my heart to see a lot of stuff going on with the system and people in general.
And this election is so important because I truly believe if we don't follow the Word of God and understand what He's put down for us, this man is an excellent candidate, Trump.
And I feel the left gives handouts, and I would like the conservative platform to be put forth.
There's a lot that we don't know and a lot that we're missing, and there wasn't a lot of I just feel like there's a lot of dividing people,
Viewpoints. And as you heard, there are a lot of varying viewpoints between different voters in San Joaquin County. Some of them, of course, voting for Trump, others voting for Biden. For those of you who are interested in the national elections, I want to update you on the current look at the Electoral College. So far, Joe Biden has clinched 236 Electoral College votes. Donald Trump with 213 Electoral College votes. Of course, he needs 270 to win, so Joe Biden has a lead, but just slightly over Trump, 236 to 213. Again, we are expecting, moving local now, we are expecting our next update from the San Joaquin County Registrar of Voters' office any minute now. They were initially expecting that update around midnight at 12 a.m. It is now 12:02. We are still awaiting that update. Also, some interesting things to note from today and regarding voting in general. 35.9% voter turnout is what the San Joaquin County Registrar of Voters is reporting. And so far, we have not seen any results yet from any of the in-person voting from today on Election Day. So far, the numbers that we have shown you in these past few updates this evening, these past 3 updates now, or I should say 4, they have all been from mainly vote-by-mail ballots. 35.9% voter turnout, as I mentioned. Now, San Joaquin County Registrar of Voter Melinda Dubroff did release a press release just moments ago, and I'll read part of it for you right now regarding it's about this year's election and the voter turnout that we saw, which was, of course, higher than previously. It reads, quote, at 8:30 p.m., San Joaquin County posted the first results from vote-by-mail ballots. In-person ballots cast prior to Election Day were reported at 9 p.m. Election Day ballots will be updated hourly throughout election night until all ballots voted in person on Election Day from the 34 voter service centers have been tabulated. We still have many more ballots to process, count, and certify over the coming days and weeks, end quote. That is again from Melinda Dubroff, the San Joaquin County Registrar of Voters. So far, we are still awaiting our 12 p.m. results. Again, to refresh, we were expecting results to be released at midnight at 12 a.m. So far, we have not gotten that update so far from the Registrar of Voters office. Really some slow reporting, if you will, from the office. We're seeing very nominal changes between the different updates that they were providing us. Okay, it looks like we have some new results to put on the screen right now. I'll go ahead and put those on screen. As you can see, 36.1% voter turnout now in this race so far, at least according to San Joaquin County Registrar of Voters' current estimates. For president, most voters, of course, in San Joaquin County siding with Joe Biden. For Congress District 9, Jerry McNerney, the incumbent, is still in the lead with 62.33% of the votes. As you can see there, Josh Harder for District 10, also in the lead with 63.21%, and moving on to Senate District 5 for the state of California. Susan Eggman currently in the lead as well with 62.50% of those votes. For Assembly District 9, Jim Cooper in the lead with 52.62%. For District 12, Heath Flora at 54.37%. In District 13, Kathy Miller is leading with a 53.74% lead there in the Assembly District 13. As we move now to the County Board of Education, member trustee area number 3, Doug Vigil, still having a lead with 63.97% of the votes. For Delta College, Community College District Board Trustee Area 2, Elizabeth Blanchard is in the lead. Trustee Area 5, Kathy Garcia is in the lead. And Trustee Area 6, Teresa Brown, as you can see, is in the lead. For Stockton Unified School District Board of Members, Trustee Area number 1, you can see Cecilia Mendez, the incumbent there, on track to keep her seat, reporting 68.03% of the votes so far. Again, only 36% of precinct, only 36% of votes at this point counting. SUSD Board Member Trustee Area number 3, Valentino Silva, still having the lead in that race with 35.45% of votes in that. For SUSD Board number 4, 38.72% of the votes going to Ray Zulueta Jr., with Lang Lentau trailing behind at 32.77% of the votes. Not too big of a difference if you look at the numbers of votes and ballots in between the two in that race. For LUSD, Lincoln Unified School District Board Trustee Area number 2, Ashley Jones still having that strong lead at 80.10%. As for Board Area number 4 for LUSD, Sandra Chan also with the lead at 58.59%. Her opponent there, Deanne Moore Antonini, at 41.28%. For San Joaquin County Supervisor District 5, Rhodesia Ransom still getting that lead there, as you can see, with 53.89% of the votes in San Joaquin County. Moving on to City of Stockton Mayor, and you can see still an incredibly tight race, neck to neck almost, with Kevin Lincoln being in the lead by just looks like a couple hundred votes there. 50.77% of the votes going to Kevin Lincoln at this hour, 49.23% going to Mayor Michael Tubbs. For City Council District 6, Kimberly Wormsley in the lead again, 70.24% for her, and Measure X in San Joaquin County is being approved yes by 66.76% of the voters so far. But again, this is only with 36.1% reporting, as you can see there, as it scrolls up. 36.1% reporting so far, so definitely far from the total numbers, and not that big of an update from what we saw earlier in our previous update when we were live here on the air. And we have learned from the Secretary of State's office that the county of San Joaquin is actually one of only 6 counties in the state of California that has still reported 0% of precincts as of 11:30 p.m. So as of 11:30 p.m., there was still 0% of precincts reporting in San Joaquin County, which, as I mentioned, is one of only 6 that has reported 0% of precincts. And again, I'll go through these results again. Biden and Harris, that ticket taking the lead so far for the presidential election in San Joaquin County. As for these congressional districts, you can see McNerney, Harder, and Susan Eggman, or I should say McNerney and Harder are the ones in the lead there. For the Senate District 5, Susan Eggman is in the lead at 62% of the votes. Assembly District 9, 12, and 13, so far in the lead is Jim Cooper, Heath Flora, and Kathy Miller. For Board of Education, Area 3, Doug Vigil is in the lead. As for Delta College, their Trustee Area 2, Elizabeth Blanchard is in the lead. For Trustee Area 5, Kathy Garcia is in the lead. Trustee Area 6, Teresa Brown in the lead. Moving on to SUSD Board members, Trustee Area 1, Cecilia is in the lead, and Trustee Area 3, Valentino Silva is in the lead. I should say Cecilia Mendez there, excuse me. Stockton Unified Board of Trustee Area number 4, Ray Zulueta Jr. is in the lead on that as well. For LUSD, Trustee Area number 2, Ashley Jones in the lead, and Sandra Chan in the lead for Trustee Area number 4. For San Joaquin County Supervisor District 5, again, Rhodesia Ransom in the lead. And for Stockton Mayor, Kevin Lincoln in the lead, 50.77% of the votes, compared to Michael Tubbs, who has 49.23% of the votes. City Council District 6, Kimberly Wormsley in the lead, and Measure X, so far the leading vote is yes on that. So an incredibly tight race still, even as we go into past midnight now in the mayoral race. They're just separated by a few hundred votes there. 50.77% of the votes going to Kevin Lincoln at this hour. Michael Tubbs receiving 49.23% of the votes. And as a reminder, this is with only 36.1% of these vote-by-mail ballots being reported. Our next update is expected to be around 1 a.m. We will be live on the air again with those results, so be sure to join us in about 50 minutes now when we're back on the air with more elections results.